Greetings troops and welcome back to the channel. Mark, that's me, my words. In this video we're going to do a 60,000 kilometre 2-year review of my Transporter T6.1. So I've had the van since March 2021. It's just gone over 61,000 kilometres and I thought it'd be a good time to sit down, talk about the options that I chose when I got the van, what I've done to it, what I've changed, what would I do slightly differently, if anything at all, the layout, the options, all that sort of stuff. So just with the outside first and the colour, flat grey, pure grey it's called in Volkswagen circles. I chose that. I did a poll before I bought the van. I sent a few options out to all my friends. I'm colourblind, so I'm not really the best position to be choosing colours. So I sent a few options which I liked. Metallic grey, I think one was like midnight blue or something like that, and then the pure grey, and the only colour that got any votes was this one. So, you know, trust other people's taste, and actually, yeah, when it turned up it was absolutely blew me away, the colour of it. The wheels, I went for the 17-inch standard Volkswagen steel wheels because I just like the look of them. They are like retro Porsche Cup type wheels, and I just think they sit really well on the van. Body coloured bumpers, I did go for those as well as an option. Would I do that again? I'm not so sure actually if I would. I think if I was to buy the van again, I wouldn't bother with body coloured bumpers and the body coloured wing mirror covers, simply because it's a lot more cleaning to do. You're more worried about them getting scratched. If you've seen my detailing videos, you will know that the back end got scratched quite a bit. And just generally, on reflection, I kind of like the industrial look of the van when it's got the black bumpers on it. But anyway, I went for the body coloured bumpers as an option. The other option that I went for was the tailgate rather than the barn doors. I did that because I did some research, and actually the most obvious one was it's an extra shelter. When you're outside, you're getting changed or something, you've been out hiking, you want to quickly get changed, it might be raining, you want to take your wet stuff off but not get rained on, so you can use that as like an extra shelter, temporary shelter. But also I found through research that vans with tailgates hold a lot more value than vans with barn doors do. Again, it's personal preference, it's what you want, and some people don't even look at that. But it was a consideration of mine, like if I do ever sell it in the future, you know, I want to maintain as much value as possible. So that was the thinking behind getting the tailgate. I didn't go for any fog lights, I didn't go for any parking sensors. The only thing I went for was a rear parking camera, just to give me a little bit of guidance. But on the front end, it's quite stubby, the van, so you know that if the rear badge on the car that you're drawing up to disappears, you're about that far away. So I'd say 30-50 centimetres away. So it's a good indicator of where you're at. So I didn't bother with those. No electric mirrors. They are heated as standard, but no electric mirrors. I'm very much of a mechanical mind, and I like to know that if something breaks, I could probably try and fix it myself, rather than all these electronic things that, you know, if they break, you've got to take it into Volkswagen or something like that, because I am not electronically gifted at all. 5-speed gearbox, 110 horsepower, simply because not going to be flying everywhere. Don't need a 7-speed 4-wheel drive, 250 brake horsepower engine in a camper van. It's not Formula One. I'm just tootling around, sitting on the motorway at 120, 130 kilometers an hour, and it pulls absolutely fine for what I need. I went for all-weather tyres as well, simply because I don't see the point in having two sets of wheels. I get it if you've got alloys and you don't want them to get damaged in the winter, fully understand that, but mine are steel. You know, if they get damaged, they get damaged. They're not that much to replace. 2 years in, still plenty of tread on them, but like I said, I've been doing mostly motorway miles. Is that it for the outside? Window tints, I did get the rear windows tinted. I didn't get them done at the factory because I realised I could get them done a little bit more commercially competitively outside, so that's what I did. It took the guys a couple of hours to do the windows, and you can't even tell that they've been done not by Volkswagen. Again, manual sliding door. Oh, I didn't get LED lights. Didn't fancy that neither. I found them quite expensive for what they are. I've been driving for nearly 30 years now, and I've never had LED lamps, so I didn't really see the point of paying that extra money for it, to be honest. They work perfectly well in the environment that I'm driving in, the halogen ones. Happy days. And that is about it for the outside, troops. Moving to the inside, when I got the van, it was completely empty. Like, it was just an empty van. There was no back seats in here. There was nothing. It was just a shell, as you'd expect a van to be. Starting at the front, I got the multifunction steering wheel. I did like the idea of that. And I got the mid-range media system, so I could plug my iPhone in and get Apple CarPlay, can route my phone through there, can listen to, you know, you get some apps on there, your WhatsApp and whatnot goes through there. I can listen to UK radio whilst living overseas, which is great. And in the cab, in the front cab, that is about it. I got the swivel seats, the captain's chair. Simply because it's only me and my son going to be in the front, and I knew I was going to convert it to a camper, and I wanted to be able to spin those around to give us that little bit more space when we're camping. So got those installed, factory fitted. Didn't cost a lot more as an optional extra, so took that as well. Could have bought a plate and retrofitted it, but you know, it's coming out the factory as I wanted it, with the armrests as well on the seats there. And that's about it for the front. It's pretty standard up in the cockpit. Moving to the back, like I said, it was just an empty shell. What I did when I bought the van was I took it over to the UK, and I took it to a company called Canby down in Devon, and they did a full conversion for me. So they did soundproofing, insulation, carpet lining, floor. They installed this bed, which I'll give you a demonstration of. Yeah, new headliner, LED lights, electrics, 240 volt hookup, and what else? That's it, that's what they did. Then I bought the blinds from Van Shades, and I installed them myself. I absolutely love the blinds. They're amazing at night time. Like, they don't leak any light at all. You do feel like you've got a lot of privacy with them. So yeah, Canby did the majority of the conversion. When I brought it back to Czech Republic, they did have to go through a technical inspection, for which I got a report issued. I then had to go to the local transport office and get my logbook updated, because it was only originally for 2 seats in the front. So I had to get it updated for 2 seats in the rear. And bizarrely, that inspection took place on the car park of a supermarket. The guy came down with his camera, got underneath, took pictures of how the seat had been secured in, took the certificates of the foam and all that sort of stuff, went away, did a report. Happy days, it got signed off. And I think it's important to touch on what would I do different. I've already talked about the outside and the body coloured bumpers. I think that is it for the outside. That is the only thing that I would change if I was going to buy the van all over again. Internally, with the systems that I've had installed, the only thing that I would change is the Webasto controller, because it's an analog controller, it's on a dial, and it's very hard to set it to an optimum temperature. The other thing that I changed was I bought the van with a 3-way fridge, so it works off 12 volt, 240 and a gas bottle. And I just found that after a year of having the van, I just wasn't using it to its full capacity. I wasn't using it to its full, you know, it was on 240 when I was hooked up to 240, which hasn't been that common, to be honest, because there's enough power on the leisure battery for what I need to be off grid for a couple of days. So I changed that to a cool box, which runs off 12 volt and 240, no gas hookup, but it's a bit smaller. It doesn't take up as much room in the van, and I just find it serves my need a lot better. So happy with that. What else? Is there anything else that I would change? Not really. What have I put in myself? The shades, obviously, that I've talked about. I've put in these storage units. I've done a video on that, these little storage nets. I've recently put in some LED lights. I did do a video on that, but the sound didn't record. So, and there's no way I could peel it off the carpet and re-stick it again. So, but they're in there. Here's a little demonstration of them working. They do look pretty funky, and I'm sure my son is going to love them when we're out camping. Aside from that, nothing else I would change on the inside. I've used the van to go camping. I've used the van as a mobile office, and I've used the van just for daily use as well. That's about it, troops, to be honest. I absolutely love the van. It's everything I hoped it would be. If you've not seen my video of getting the van, I will link that up here. And when I took delivery, I said, you know, it was my dream for 20 odd years to own a transporter and to convert it, although I didn't do the work, granted, but to get it converted into something that I felt I could use perfectly well. And that, troops, is about everything. I am so happy with the van, what I've had done to it. Those little things that I would change, they don't bother me. It's just if I was doing it again, that is what I would do differently. So if you're in the market for a transporter and you're looking at a T6.1, in my opinion, go for it. You will not regret it at all, at all. I'm absolutely in love with it. My son loves it. We've been away, we've had some great adventures. The summer's just beginning for 2023, so we've got a whole load of other stuff planned for this year, and it's just ideal. It's everything I thought it would be and hoped it would be. So troops, with that being said, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't done so already, please do consider hitting that subscribe button down there. Give me a thumbs up, help me grow the channel. And as always, troops, wherever you are in the world, do take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, troops.